parachute.
Stuck a couple bitcoins.
Money,
Pull up on my Nakamoto.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Blockchain Dynamics Show.
Hello, welcome.
Y'all are listening to Error by Trial Radio right now. My name is Brandon Doge.
And I'm Woody. The date is Sunday, April 1st, 2017, and we are on episode 57 over here.
That's right, 57 of those episodes hanging out there. You can check out the archive on soundcloud.com/blockchaindynamics.
Or head over to blockchaindynamics.net. Got them there too.
It's true.
This week's show is brought to you by Cryptopia.
That's www.cryptopia.co.nz. They're your one-stop crypto shop.
That's right. In addition to being a altcoin exchange, they have forums, marketplace, and a whole plethora of other features for you to discover.
Yeah, there's always a ton of stuff going on at Cryptopia. I would highly recommend you stop by and check it out. While you're there, they have a forums. In the forums, in the altcoin section, we have a thread stickied up there. The Blockchain Dynamics thread. Stop by, leave some comments, and we will throw you some dots.
Definitely. Thanks for everybody that stopped by this week and said hello, gave us some good suggestions, and received some dots.
Yeah, it's true. We're actually going to be incorporating some of those suggestions into the show this week, so be on the lookout for that if you're one of those dot thread posters.
And we've been keeping up with our 20,000 dot giveaways. We'll be doing another one of those midway through the show.
It's true. Be on the lookout for that. Alrighty, and with that, we're going to jump into the news.
All right, news.
Love that news. Got to do the news.
And today, at the top of the stack, is the DAO crew is back.
That's right, the team from the DAO, a.k.a. Slockit. They're coming back with a new project. This time, they will not be doing an IPO for it, though.
All right. Got any details on the plan there?
We got a mystery investor situation here. Apparently, they're doing a $2 million seed round in Slockit to hire people to build something that's similar to what their whole original proposal was, a way to incorporate payments into Internet of Things devices through Ethereum, essentially.
Okay. So, no ICO, but a sort of similar idea.
Yeah, exactly. They're keeping the idea alive, but trying to get as far away, I guess, from the DAO as possible, which is understandable, I guess.
Cool.
So yeah, just an interesting bit of news there. Obviously, these guys had their reputations pretty adversely affected by everything that happened with the DAO, and so we'll see if they can come back with this new project.
Yeah.
And I do got to give props for them for securing the funds privately in this case and not just trying to do a second DAO or something.
Sure. Interesting. That is like one of those bigger projects for me that I can't do much but keep an eye on, you know.
Yeah, it's not as an altcoin trader, it's never, I don't think it's ever really going to be that relevant to us again at this point. Alrighty, next up in the news this week, the altcoin exchange Shapeshift also raised a bunch of private money. Apparently they raised $10.4 million.
All right, Shapeshift pulling in some cash.
I never have used Shapeshift.
Nope, I've been close a couple times, but in the end I never really needed it. I can see some situations where it'd be helpful, but I haven't ended up there yet.
Yeah, I remember I did use something. I used a similar one like way back in the day for Dogecoin, and it turned out it was run by the same scammer who did like the MintPal scam and all this other stuff.
Oh, sure.
It's pretty funny, but I did get my Domino's pizza, so.
Well, that's what's the important part.
Exactly, it worked out for me. So.
Only 2 support tickets later, you got your pizza, right?
Yeah, that's true. I did have to file a ticket to get the pizza.
So, aside from the funding, what's going on here? It doesn't look like much else at the moment.
Nope, not really too much else to talk about here. Just Shapeshift apparently still doing well.
Yeah, it says they're growing quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
They've seen a lot of growth every month for the last 3 years. So,
congrats to them. We also have some news this week from Storj Coin. They are hopping on over to an Ethereum-based blockchain.
Wow, okay. That's kind of bigger news for me.
Yeah, I think this is kind of interesting. Storj, of course, is in competition with some of the other decentralized storage solution coins like C-Coin.
Right.
I guess C-Coin.
C is probably their
main
major
one,
competitor, yeah.
And so previously these guys were on a counterparty chain, and what they're doing now is switching it on over to Ethereum.
I imagine they just want to take advantage of some of the things Ethereum's allowing. Is there anything specific they're planning?
They're saying also that the Bitcoin transaction fee debacle is having an effect on their business model because it supposedly is going to rely on a large number of transactions. And they're finding essentially that with the way the transaction fees are right now is they're too excessive for their business to work.
Oh, I saw a funny April Fool's joke where somebody was like, Dash is going to raise the transaction fees by 50%. Kind of reminds me of that.
I saw another funny one that said that Roger Ver was going to buy Bitmain, the ASIC manufacturer, and then they would just control all of the miners. It's
oh, man.
It's kind of a scary thought if you think about it. If someone did buy Bitmain, they would have like such a stranglehold on the Bitcoin chain.
Yeah, for sure. So that news was Storj moving over to Ethereum.
Yeah, that's right. And this is interesting, I think, man. I'm curious to see, as always, with everything that's going to Ethereum, you want to see the value add that it brings. You want to see them actually deliver the product using
for sure
Ethereum, and so far that tends to be pretty elusive. So
talk's cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, people are asking for ransomware in Ethereum now. In other crypto coin news.
Yeah, exactly. Storj is moving to Ethereum. Ransomware is moving to Ethereum. Everyone's jumping on board. Yeah, there's a funny bit this week. Apparently some people were threatening Apple and saying that they had broken into some of their cloud servers, and they were demanding a huge amount of Bitcoin, obviously, for them to not release the info. But in this case, they also said that they could get paid in Ethereum, which is the first time I've heard about that, and it's kind of funny to see. As Ethereum grows, the scammers become more interested in it as well.
They're like, hey, the liquidity's there. If I get paid in Ethereum, I can dump this at market rate.
Yeah, exactly. And people can buy it too. Most of these people that they're ripping off are probably in Western European or American markets, and you can buy Ethereum on Coinbase now. So it's like, because of that, now you see it.
Oh, that's true. You can kind of almost do it with your credit card.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In this case, Apple says that the hack never happened and that they never paid them off. So.
Nice.
We'll never know for sure. But just an interesting development there in the whole altcoin ecosystem.
Definitely.
Alrighty, that is going to do it for the news this week. As always, we love it when people send us news articles or any other altcoin happenings.
Yeah, it can just be wallet updates, as small as a wallet update mention, or forks, anything really.
Yep, anything fun that's going on out there, we love to chat about it.
Go to blockchaindynamics.net to send us that news.
And next, we're going to jump into the markets.
Nice. Love that market news for sure.
Another crazy week for the markets, man. It's hard to believe. It's just still going full steam.
Yeah. Bitcoin wasn't as gentle to us this week.
I don't know. I don't know about that because, so Bitcoin is up 12.7% this week.
Uh-huh.
That's a pretty large. It's a pretty large increase, all things considered. Even though Bitcoin is super volatile or whatever, we don't see too many weeks where it's goes up much more than this.
Yeah, well, it would have been nice for it to just not quite be that volatile this week for me. But a nice move on Bitcoin there, actually, going up to 1107 at the time of the show.
Ethereum, on the other hand, is down this week. They crashed about 7.4% versus USD, crashed about 18% versus Bitcoin, chilling at 0.042 now. And I say that with a kind of a bit of confusion because it's actually not very easy to even tell what Ethereum costs right now because there's been this like Poloniex. Poloniex is crashing, and then you can't even get to the site. And then for a while, did you see this? Ethereum, like right after Poloniex crashed, they came back up, and Ethereum was at like 0.035. It had dumped huge, like 25%.
Yep.
And then Poloniex crashes again and comes back up, and it's at 0.045 again. And you're like, what is the real price? It's hard to say if it was like a fat finger thing or maybe a bot glitched out or maybe the book got cleared by something. It's just weird stuff going on Poloniex Ethereum market today.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely getting hammered with traffic over there, probably both intentional and unintentional traffic, just craziness. I don't think they were ready for this quick of a scaling.
Yeah, speaking of scaling problems, we had another huge pump this week with Ripple. Just going fully nuts. This is a coin that I just have successfully ignored for so long that kind of block it out of my mind until days like today when
Right.
it's pretty tough not to see it. Over 100,000 volume.
Yeah, I had definitely been in that boat for quite some time, and then I think I might have mentioned how I started deciding most of these really big projects.
Yeah.
I just sort of feel, even if I don't agree with them in certain ways, just they're so big that they're bound to have movements like this at certain times.
It's like a too big to fail of the altcoin version.
Exactly.
That's funny.
It's a government bailout.
Yeah, it's like, it speaks to the strength of the market. Like, if Ripple didn't do something, during this whole bull cycle, people would be like, oh, well, Ripple's done, right?
Right.
And so it's fun to see, when the markets are this bullish, it's like everybody shows their cards and you can see just how strong some of these coins are, just how strong some of the market makers are, and also how strong some of the underlying interest is in a lot of these coins. And so with Ripple, we saw, obviously, these guys have a lot of strength. If they can generate 100,000 Bitcoin volume day, crash the whole damn exchange.
It's at like 125,000 right now.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So it's just been really huge amount of volume for altcoins, period.
So, yeah, obviously, what's it at right now?
4,780.
Nice. Yeah, it spiked up to like 700 or 7,000.
Yeah.
The exchange crashes.
Yeah, I was trying to sell some Ripple at that point and just get in the spinning circle.
Right. Yeah, but I remember you kept refreshing and trying to replace the order. It didn't work.
Nope.
And then, of course, the exchange comes back and the troll box is like so pissed off.
Ban hammers flying everywhere.
Oh, man, it was good.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's like the troll box is going too fast for anybody to even see it. So how are they moderating it? Like, how do they even catch up with the messages?
Any like when they see something that's negative, just like hammer,
ban. It's like they can't handle the regular traffic. They might as well shut down the troll box at that point. But
I mean, there just aren't a lot of high traffic websites where everybody on the website can spit into a box and get like it's just really hot.
And to Poloniex in Poloniex' defense, it's not always easy to build something that can scale up without having been through the trial by fire first.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely at the forefront of this altcoin exchanging in volume.
And these numbers are ridiculous. 125,000 on Ripple, 40,000 on Ethereum. Like, it's, I can sympathize with the situation of them having traffic problems. Do you know what the active users is? About 18.5.
Yeah, I think I saw Bitcoin Dad put it at 25,000 at one point on Twitter. I might be wrong. I'll have to double check.
And then the other thing is that it's a historical thing.
21,000, he said.
It's hard to know always how much is going on behind the scenes, but some market makers are kind of famous for liking to DDoS exchanges and stuff during big moves. So I think you just get this combination of everybody on the exchange gets into a frenzy, the traders get into a frenzy, and then you start adding malicious traffic and everything else into the mix, and it's pretty understandable to see the exchange go down.
Yeah, it really is.
On the other hand, it's really annoying, and I can sympathize with the people who are pissed off about Ripple and not getting their sells in. Obviously, if you thought 7,000 was a good price, maybe you should have had an ask out there to begin with, but I can totally understand being annoyed by the exchange being down. But for me, the good news is that every time this happens, a little bit of volume gets driven back to Bittrex.
Right.
And just in general, we all benefit as traders by having, not just having Poloniex have such a huge monopoly on the volume. Like, this latest spike in T-Rex volume has given a lot of people a lot more opportunities to trade there. And it also just makes for a healthier ecosystem in general because, like, remember a few months ago when Bittrex volume was really low and it seemed like Poloniex might be the only game in town.
Sure.
They would do a delist and these coins like Block and Geo and stuff would drop like 90%.
Yeah.
Eventually we worked out by the time they got delisted, they were down like 60% overall.
Yeah.
And then now we've seen with the volume coming back to T-Rex, if you look at those coins specifically, they've regained a lot of that value. And so by having, a strong second exchange, you minimize this effect of one exchange kind of being a kingmaker for these altcoins, and eventually you can get, I guess, closer to something like a fair value.
Nice.
And so, yeah, I'm really excited to see Bittrex doing well.
Yeah, I totally agree with all that. Another coin that was moving around was Litecoin this week on Poloniex and everywhere else. That caught people off guard, of course.
Yeah, it always does. You're so used to LTC being either dropping or being $4 or whatever the LTC meme of the week is, but
one of the fun effects of that I mention occasionally, Esper's coin, which is only traded actively against Litecoin, basically.
Yep.
This is one of the few times I've seen a Litecoin market react so strongly to the Litecoin price movement, the way that like the Bitcoin markets react to Bitcoin movements.
Did it drop? Did it readjust to maintain the same
It
market?
It dropped really, really hard as Litecoin
Wow.
went up, and I don't think it's quite regained its value, to be honest.
Huh.
I don't know if it will. I think people are probably more bullish on Litecoin than Esper's.
That's a really cool thing to look at. We have been kind of dwelling on the relationship between these Bitcoin pumps and these altcoin variations, and to think of it in the context of Litecoin pumping and how that affects Litecoin base pairs.
Right.
So that's a whole nother cool thing.
Well, or even to see that might be starting to be a thing, like an actual
Yep.
Litecoin base pair. Also on the move, monetary unit continues, and data bits going to Trex.
Yeah, that was the Augmenters ICO that apparently is out. It's trading way above the ICO price, so congrats to those guys. And yeah, also MUE continuing its crazy pump. It had kind of the huge scary death candle this week.
Yep.
There was some drama about it, about like maybe the dev flashed his wallet and spooked the market or something. It's you know how that is. It's that kind of stuff's always floating around. It's hard to say what really went down. But even despite the fact that it had that huge crash, it's still up like 90% this week. So
Yeah, it's hard to keep things in perspective after a pump like that. I've always had trouble.
yeah, exactly. You go the day to day, and it might look like you've lost half your ground, but then you go back 1 week, and you're like, oh, we're still higher than we were a week ago. That's hard to believe.
Well, and there's always going to be a handful of people that just bought it 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, that is sad for them, I guess.
Well, that's trading.
That's the game.
Hit them with some numbers, Brando.
Alrighty, let's look at the numbers here. We're taking a look at the top 100 coins, as we often do. This week, 87 of the top 100 coins were up versus US dollar, 72 up versus Bitcoin. These are some of the strongest numbers that we've ever seen. That essentially means only 13 out of the top 100 coins were down versus US dollar.
Yep.
It's hard to believe. A lot of them were high-profile coins like Ethereum, Dash, and Lisk.
At that point, I think I mentioned, we talked about it last week, it just becomes very difficult to make a poor holding decision on a weekly basis in that scenario.
Yeah, it's crazy. Another interesting thing, a lot of mid and small caps are moving up this week. Like I said, most of the coins that are down were mostly the big caps. So that's some interesting tidbit there.
Yeah.
Looking at the median gains this week, the median gain for a top 100 altcoin was 29% this week against US dollar.
Holy smokes.
That's a new record. And this is equally mind-boggling because this is a week where Bitcoin is up 12%.
Yeah.
Historically, we're used to seeing that tank altcoins.
Oh, for sure.
And we saw it for just a little bit as Bitcoin spiked the other day. We saw alts down kind of on like maybe for a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
But within 12 hours, they were bounced back. And within 24 hours of that Bitcoin spike, they had more than fully recovered.
I'm super surprised to see that type of resilience at this price point for Bitcoin, altcoin prices versus Bitcoin.
This is hugely bullish for altcoins. Not only is it happening in a backdrop where Bitcoin is going up, right? Usually for us, that correlates to altcoins crashing.
Yes.
Ethereum is crashing this week.
Right.
Usually for us, that also correlates to altcoins crashing.
Yeah.
And so to see altcoins not just going up this week, but posting record numbers, that's crazy. I mean, this...
Now, is it just a reluctance in the altcoins to accept this and react? If this trend in Ethereum and Bitcoin were to continue through next week, would you start to expect altcoins to then react, or be more surprised when they don't?
Yeah, that's a great question. If you'd have asked me 3 months ago, I would have probably said, yeah, I would expect this to point to a potential turnaround in the bull run. But with seeing the numbers this week being so far departed from what we're used to with both US dollar and Ethereum, I'm starting to believe that some of this strength in the alt markets might be, a lot broader than I had given it credit for, even in the past.
Right.
And so I'm curious, like you said, there's two narratives that can come out of this. We're going to find that alts are going to crash next week, and it was just kind of a lagging indicator. The remnants of the bull run, or we're going to see that this bull run really is stronger than anything that's going on with the Bitcoin or the Ethereum market.
Right.
And, then anything could happen. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
Some other fun numbers this week. Let's see. Talking a little bit more about Ethereum diverging from alts this week. If you don't include Ethereum, the top 100 altcoins are up an incredible 58% in USD market cap.
Wow.
Obviously, the largest number we've seen there by quite a bit. Even if you do include Ethereum, alts are still up 18%, which means despite the by far the biggest altcoin crashing, there was so much strength in the other alt markets that the overall altcoin ecosystem was still rising in a pretty big way this week.
Interesting.
Looking at the total altcoin market cap from CoinMarketCap is at $9.7 billion right now. That's up $2.1 billion just this week.
How many weeks in a row have we been at all-time highs on this number?
Oh my God, that's got to be that's a good question. This has got to be our third or our fourth week of all-time highs.
I'm thinking three or four. Yep.
Unreal.
And then Bitcoin dominance is actually at a new all-time low of 64.9%, which is down 3%.
Yep, so once again, just that trend continues, Bitcoin dominance crashing. We also had Ethereum dominance crash this week. It's only at 43.3% right now. That's a 16% decline.
That's a pretty big decline.
Yeah, but once again, that's something that we would normally associate with we're expecting crashing to be associated with a crash in the market, but because the overall alt markets are so strong, that makes this huge plummet in ETH dominance. Cool stuff.
Very cool. When we look at some specific gainers and losers with big numbers this week, we noticed Bitcoin Plus up 740%.
Damn.
Ripple up 334%. Bytecoin up 166%. And Bitsend up 114%.
Yeah, Ripple obviously the biggest story here, but man, that Bitcoin plus 740% on the week is crazy.
Yeah, there was some day this week where all those like Bitcoin weird.
Yeah, Bitcoin plus Bitcoin was it Bitcoin Dark? Was
yeah, like every coin that had the word Bitcoin in its name was pumping on Poloniex or something. Not sure what was happening.
That was the day that Steam backed dollars pumped too. Did you see that?
Like beyond the price of $1.
Oh yeah, way beyond.
That's
yeah, somebody pumped Steam backed dollars, and then it crashed back down to $1. Obviously, like
yeah,
I would love to be in the head of the person who's messing with the Steam backed dollar order book, but. It's great, man. This like reminds me of 2016 now with some of these, 1,000% on the day pumps, I think.
Yeah, and on coins that already have substantial market caps, so they become less predictable, I think, in that way. That's where like Ripple, I think Ripple was almost at half of Ethereum's market cap at some point, Yeah,
it was like 1.4 billion last time I looked at it. That's crazy.
Yeah. Of course, there's always people losing some value on a weekly basis as well. This week, Dash was down 42%, Decred down 40%, ARK down 25%, and Nexus down 23%.
Those are all last week's pumps, essentially giving up a lot of ground.
It's just a theme, isn't it? It's always the cool-offs on that side.
Ripple must have just been laughing. Like, you go back 2 weeks ago and Dash was number 3. The Ripple people must have just been like...
Yep. Ripple loves being number 3 there. I feel like that's their goal. They've got to be the third one on that list.
Yeah, so you got to know. Not only did they retake it this week, they did it with a preposterous 1.4 billion market cap.
Yeah. It's just crazy. I've never thought that I'd see Poloniex with such high volumes on so many markets.
No, this is far beyond, far beyond what
at this point I
ever had imagined.
I don't know how many are on the first little scroll bar there if you just push it up to the top. But the bottom one right now is NXT, and it even has 447 Bitcoins volume. So that's supposedly one of the not higher ones.
Keybucks miraculously only has 3.8 Bitcoins volume. I don't know how they're pulling that off.
Nice. Is that the lowest one now?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, good for them.
That's it. Crazy times on Poloniex, crazy times on Bittrex. Really, just a really good time to be an altcoin trader.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get the feeling like we're living in a bubble, and maybe we are, but in our experience, these bubbles can last a long time, and it's probably going to be a lot longer of a kind of a drawn-out downtrend.
Yeah, and if history repeats itself, the downtrend of Bitcoin is not necessarily the worst part of the cycle for altcoins either.
Right, we're still in overall what seems to be a bullish Bitcoin market. Last time, like you go back to 2014, there was that huge Bitcoin pump in 2013, beginning of 2014. And then from then on, it was pretty much a slow and steady decline for Bitcoin. And despite that, the altcoin markets were still really vibrant well into 2015.
Most definitely.
So if that precedent holds, there's no guarantee that it will. But if it does, that means that even if this was the top for Bitcoin and we were just on a long decline, we could expect altcoins to be doing well still at least into 2018 before we start to see a major pullback.
So, we got some good feedback last week through our Cryptopia forum thread, and we're going to try out the Old Timers Corner this week.
That's right. Somebody had requested, as somebody who's newer to the scene, they were just kind of wondering, they hear us talk about like how we look at new coins and stuff, and are kind of wondering a little bit about the process of evaluating some of these new coins and how you go about trying to find your way in the ridiculous world of new coins.
Right.
And so I guess the easiest place to start is with mining. I think that's where we started.
Definitely.
There's two kind of great scenes in crypto are the miners coin scenes and the IPO scene. The IPO scene, there's a ton of money to be made, a ton of opportunity there, just as we saw this week with stuff like DataBits, last week with ARK. But if you're somebody who's a new trader or a small balance trader, it can be a lot more difficult to trade IPOs because often there's going to be a really long wait between when you put your money in and when you get it out, and you have no control over what happens in the meantime.
Right.
It's difficult for, kind of the velocity of your money is a lot lower. And so mining can be a natural start. It's really easy to mine with microscopic quantities if you want to and get a feel for the scene.
Yeah.
And you also get a really deep understanding of some of the underlying fundamental economics that affect a lot of these coins.
Yeah. And I feel like people might expect their mining power to be insignificant if maybe they only have one desktop or a computer without a powerful graphics card. But I guess I'd encourage them to seek out the coins that they can mine and sort of gain that experience regardless of the payout they potentially see from that mining. Because starting at that point, even if you can familiarize yourself with the process and sort of how you can calculate your break even if it's incredibly low, and start to figure these things out, that might be able to lead towards you understanding how to get into cloud mining, which, if you've never actually rented any hash before, you might be surprised at how much power you can rent for how little.
For how cheap it is. Yeah, totally.
And so, we both started as miners for sure.
Yep, just with single GPUs.
Or there might be one step below that, which is the fauceting.
Yeah, you can get in with faucets, and then you can use that to do rentals and stuff is one way to get started if you're just trying to really get in with no investment. But usually starting with just some simple hardware is fine. Or just a little bit of Bitcoin to try and feed into some of these rental hash services.
Right.
As far as that goes, the two big hash rental services are called nicehash.com and miningrigrentals.com. They're both really great websites. I've never had any problems with customer service or any issues with either of them. They both do a really great job. NiceHash is a cloud renting site. They have a really unique rental formula where instead of renting specific rigs, you're essentially bidding for hash power. And if you have a bid that is high enough and they have extra hash power, it'll come down and fill your bid, and it'll just get pointed at whatever pool you have it set to.
Yeah, it's a very cool system. It has its caveats related to automated creation of orders, I guess, and the way that the hash markets can be manipulated. But by and large, it's a very accurate measure of the current price of a particular algorithm's hash. Yeah,
you can go to NiceHash and you can check their orders page, and you're essentially going to get a picture of what mining costs for that algorithm at the given time. Because of the way NiceHash's bidding system works, they kind of represent the market floor for the value of a given algorithm at any given point in time, and that can be a really useful resource.
Yeah.
The other site, miningrigrentals.com, it's a more traditional rental format, and so if you go there, you will people can post their rigs essentially, and then you can rent them. It's really straightforward. You're getting a specific piece of hardware for a specific piece of time. You're paying a set amount beforehand. Those are all things that are kind of a little bit different than with NiceHash. So like on Mining Rig Rentals, you might rent a 100 megahash rig for 12 hours. And that's exactly what you're going to get for 12 hours. On NiceHash, you might try and rent 100 megahashes at some price, and if your bid gets filled, you'll get it, and it's a little more complicated. But in the end of the day, it kind of works out that if you want slow, steady hash for like a long or a predetermined period, mining rig rentals, just doing a regular rental is going to be a really good way to go. If you're not sure how much hash you need, if you're not sure how long you want the rental to last, or if you need an extremely large amount of hash rate, then you're going to want to use NiceHash. And I recommend having both services. I use them both.
Yep. That's a really good synopsis there.
So then what you're going to want to do as a miner is try and figure out how much money you're going to get for mining something. There's not actually a lot of great resources for this. There's a lot of mining calculators out there, but in my opinion, they do not really, they don't give you the right number. Most of them it'll be like an Ethereum mining calculator, and you'll punch in how much you'll get if you were mining Ethereum with a graphics card or something. But for rentals, what you want to know is, if I rent a rig at a given cost, what can I expect the price of the coins that I'm getting to be, right?
Yes.
Those are the two most important things. And so there's a simple equation for this, and we'll post it up in the Cryptopia thread once the show is over.
Cool.
But it's basically you take the difficulty times the mining cost, divide it by the block reward, and then multiply that by a constant, and you will get what is the break-even value. And so that's kind of the first place to start with a coin. Like a coin will come out, and you'll say, okay, this looks cool. Do I want to mine this? You can pop into any of the pools that are available and get the difficulty and the block reward. And then you can hop over to NiceHash to see what the cost of the hash rate is. And then you'll plug those into the formula, and that's going to tell you how much you can expect to pay to mine the coin, essentially.
Yep. Nice.
And so that's like the first place to start. And then once you have that number, you can kind of start to get into some other fun math. Like you can look at the coin and say, okay, based on what its current difficulty is, based on what the current mining cost is, I could mine this for 200 Satoshi. Then you can look at the supply of the coin and say, okay, this is a coin with 10 million supply or something. If I plug in that mining cost to 200 Satoshi, I can guesstimate that by the time this coin is distributed, I'm going to have a market cap of 20 Bitcoins or whatever. And so this is how, when you're looking at new coins, this is how you can kind of estimate what the expected value is for mining. And then you can compare that to what you think the coin is worth, right? You can say, okay, I got a coin here. I can guesstimate based on the mining cost that correlates to about a 20 Bitcoin market cap. But then you can say, well,
right.
I think that this coin is probably going to trade for maybe closer to 60 to 80,000 market cap, and then you know that you have a good opportunity for a mining play.
Yeah, once you know how much you're paying per coin, it's much easier to decide whether the coin is being over or undervalued.
And so that's a great place to start. The next thing that you're going to need if you're interested in mining is some pre-configured virtual machines. This is not an optional step. It's very dangerous to just run crypto wallets on your computer.
Yep.
Especially for new coins. If it's an old coin with a trusted developer that's been around for years, yes, you can run the wallet. You're not going to have any problems.
Yeah, and this has been a tool that people have used successfully to mine and be successful in that way, as well as developers who have manipulated this aspect psychologically and tricked people into running their software. So I think that's why we always recommend using virtual machines.
Yep, and it's really easy. What I do, I just use Oracle VMware. I have on my computer kind of a base setup for a Windows miner and one for a Ubuntu miner, and then I just clone them as needed as new coins come out. And so essentially I highly recommend it. Just have a virtual machine clone sitting out there ready to either mine or stake whatever coin it is that you're kind of looking at.
Definitely. And so now that your environment's ready, you're going to want to be ready for that announcement, because time is of the essence in mining.
Very often, coins will have really short proof of work phases, and the sooner you can make a decision about when to mine, the better off you're going to be.
So you might want to subscribe to one of the announcement bots on Twitter, or you might want to learn how to sort Bitcoin talk properly to get all of the most recent announcements.
That's right. It's kind of funny. You can't access this through the Bitcoin Talk interface, but there's a search string parameter that you can put into it that will sort all of the Bitcoin Talk posts by how recently they were made, which is just the easiest way to see what all the new posts are. And then basically just try and keep up with them. Just go through every single one. They're mostly garbage. A lot of them don't have anything to do with new coins, but you'll just burn through them. That's the easiest way to see what is out there.
We'll post that string for you in the forum as well.
And then once you've come that far, I guess we'll probably get into this next week, but we'll start to talk about, now that you are looking at the new projects that are out there, what are the different ways to evaluate them and decide which ones you're going to be mining.
And we'll talk about that a little bit further in this show too, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think for now, I think that was a good start to the Old Timers Corner.
Yep, so yeah, basically the kind of in review of that, if you're interested in mining new coins, I suggest starting with a NiceHash or a mining rig rentals account, and then get that formula, get a spreadsheet set up or something so that you can calculate your expected break-evens on these, and then you can start to think about building some positions with mining. It's fun.
Yeah, and they don't have to be big.
No, you can
start really small with this stuff.
One of the great things about crypto is the markets are really granular. Like, the level of detail that you can get into with some of these small markets is incredible. There's markets stretching from, coins with market caps of less than $1,000 to, the big coins that we talk about with billion-dollar market caps. And there's everything in between.
Definitely.
And as somebody, if you're especially starting out small, the best opportunities are going to be in those market caps that are, appropriate relative to the amount that you're investing. It's just easier to make money in small market caps because there's less competition.
Yeah. Your risk is high too, but, everybody, hopefully, by the time they're in that situation, has accepted their own risk for trading.
Yeah, of course. With mining, there's a lot of ways to lose, and we'll get into those in future episodes as well.
Okay, that was our first week of the Old Timers Corner, and next we're going to move into a second look. This is our third look at a Stay Secure coin.
That's right. We're rounding out the Stay Secure collection here this week with a coin called Aquarius.
Whereas the last two coins were tribute coins to Stay Secure's children, this coin is a tribute simply to the Aquarius zodiac sign.
Is he an Aquarius?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
So he's got Taj coin for his son, right?
Yep.
Lana coin.
Yep, which has her Taurus zodiac symbol on it as well.
And then he's got Aquarius coins. This is kind of for himself. One for everyone in the family type situation.
Sure, exactly.
Love it.
So mining is over on this one.
Yep, this was just a regular script proof of work coin. Looks like it had a 10,000 block mining phase, so that's kind of the same as Blackcoin. After 10,000 blocks, the proof of work essentially shuts off and it switches over to a pure proof of stake system.
Right. And in this case, the proof of stake is at a fixed rate of 1 coin per proof of stake block.
I think it actually will do, either will do an annual rate or the fixed rate, depending on which is higher. So,
really?
Yeah, the idea is that if the percentage rate gets to be too low, you'll still get the minimum of 1 coin.
Okay.
It's kind of actually a nice
I understand
feature.
what you mean. 6% annually plus the 1 Arco fixed stake
exactly,
reward.
Exactly.
Now I get it. Cool. One thing that Stay Secure pointed out to us was that it was on this new exchange POS wallet, which I had never heard of. And, of course, I'm always super skeptical of new exchanges, but they have their own, coin, right? You've heard of that POS wallet coin and seen that going around?
Yeah, totally. I don't fully understand what's going on there. Is it's a coin and an exchange?
Apparently.
Or something.
Apparently. Right. I'm just starting to catch on to it. I really don't know yet. Another interesting bit was that they're not going to be on the Coinami official wallet. Aquarius Coin or any of the other Stay Secure coins.
Yeah, one of the cool things he was working on was kind of a combined wallet utilizing Coinami. Apparently that won't be happening due to some conflict with Electrum servers or something like that.
Well, the deal basically is that the Stay Secure team wanted to run their own Electrum nodes.
Okay.
But that's not acceptable for the Coinami team. They insist that they run the Electrum nodes for the coins on their platform.
Interesting.
And for that service, they charge quite a bit of money. And so it's conflict there.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, you can still just use the APK version of that Coinami wallet with those coins on it if that's what you really want. I feel like anybody dedicated enough to these coins to want to use that is not going to have that big of a problem with it.
Yep. Let's see, as far as the markets go here on Aquarius Coin, it's traded on YoBit and Cryptopia and BitSquare and POS Wallet. that other one we mentioned earlier. Looking at about a $70,000 market cap, which is interesting. That actually is really close to the market caps of his other coins. I think his Lana coin was like 10,000 and Taj was like 7,000.
Yeah.
So they all kind of tend to be trading around in that high 4-digit, low 5-digit range.
Yeah.
I'm always like to see how these niche coins trade. I think it's instructive.
Right.
So that's cool. As far as the thread goes, not too much going on. There was a fork of some kind, a hard fork. I think it was just to fix a bug in the staking. And then we also had some of the usual arguing with people arguing that proof of work is better in the thread. So that's always fun.
Yeah. I think that just about does it for our second look there.
Alrighty, that is going to do it for our second look here at Aquarius Coin, the third coin from Stay Secure.
Which will bring us into our rolling review segment.
That's right, we love that rolling review. This is a segment where we try to keep up with coins after they've launched and kind of try to follow them through their life cycles until they kind of hit the major exchanges.
Definitely. There's a certain period of time that is hard to keep track of coins in, and we try to get those coins in front of ourselves with this section.
Yeah, and if there's something that's out there that's stewing that you want us to take a look at, by all means, hit us up in our Cryptopia thread, hit us up on the website, and we can toss coins into the mix too.
Most definitely.
This week, we don't talk about every single coin every week, and so this week I thought that we would just kind of cover some of the coins that get skipped a lot and just see where they're at. Usually it means that nothing is going on, but it's just kind of fun to catch up with them and see what's happening.
Yeah, let's check them out.
The first coin with nothing going on here is Pony Coin.
Yeah.
So this coin's funny for me because it's as basic as a coin could get. It's just a coin that came out. It had a 20,000 block proof of work phase. There's no futures, no community involvement, no major exchange, no kind of none of the anything that we are used to having distort the value of these coins for us. And so I like to use it as kind of just a general indicator for the healthiness of altcoin markets. And this week, checking in on Pony Coin, and it's up. It's chilling at a 21,000 market cap.
Nice. Yeah. I liked Pony Coin when it came out due to the mining specifications and a few low-key details of it being unappealing.
It's just unappealing enough.
Yeah, just unappealing enough. So I tried to get some when it got on Nova Exchange, and
right.
I could never get very many Pony Coins at this point. So I'm glad it's up, but I don't really think anyone has any. That's my guess.
I mean, somebody's. One thing we noticed during the mining is that it did have a higher than expected difficulty in the mining. They did a slow start, which usually deflects miners, or there's not usually a lot of people that pay enough attention to catch back up with it when the slow start ends. One of the things that we noticed on this is that it did have a really high difficulty going into the actual mining phase. And so somebody has them. And it's just funny to see.
Yeah, I know somebody has them.
Somebody's got those coins. And it's funny to see what's going on with it. Really low liquidity, obviously, as well.
Yeah. Another one that we've been keeping on the rolling review is HiCoin.
That's right, HiCoin. This is a ground-up currency built in Node.js. This is a really fun CPU miners coin. If you're new into the game looking for something to CPU mine, you can solo mine this. Right now, there's just a new wallet update this week. There have been a lot of new wallet updates, but otherwise it is just humming away.
Yep, not really a lot to report there. It is definitely just humming away.
We were also going to take a look at a upcoming project called Helium.
This one's still in its pre-announcement phase, and it's the one we mentioned with that snapshot tie-in from Spreadcoin.
Yep, it just has kind of an interesting post. It's a confusing OP, but it's got just enough effort kind of put into it to make you think that there might be something going on, so we're keeping an eye on it. But for now, still in the pre-an phase. That's pre-announcement. Basically means that it's not launched.
Another one on the list is Netco.
Netco. This is another proof of work coin that launched recently. This one does switch to proof of stake. Oh, this is the coin where people were arguing about POS. I confused it with Aquarius.
Right.
Netco's been mining for a little while. It's ostensibly a coin for a Slovenian IT company, which is a pretty funny premise. But otherwise, it's just doing the MineXCoin thing, low volume, low difficulty, really not too much to see.
And skipping right along and through the review, we were taking a look at NeuronCoin back on maybe show 54, 55 we started, I think, on that one.
Yeah, Neuron came out a while ago. It was one of those coins that just, it came out when the markets were hot. It got a lot of attention early, and then it's died. Developer disappeared. The supernova pool has closed. Yeah, I think we're going to actually take this one off the review.
Goodbye, Neuron.
It's not often that they get retired for just completely giving up, but it does happen. This one's trading below 1 Bitcoin market cap right now.
Oh, wow. That's quite low.
So we wish you farewell, NeuronCoin. Alrighty, guess what? It is time for the dot giveaway.
Oh, that dot giveaway.
We love those dots here at Blockchain Dynamics Show. Dots, of course, are the native cryptocurrency of Cryptopia.
Yes, indeed. And the way that the giveaway works is that we ask the question, you send the answer in a direct message to @ChainDynamics, and the first person to answer it correctly wins 20,000 dots.
Yep.
Today's question is, what is the name of the anime character in Hex's Cryptopia forum avatar?
That's right. Hex, of course, is one of the operators of Cryptopia. If you go to his forum account, check out the avatar, let us know what the name of the anime character in the avatar is. You get 20,000 of those sweet, sweet dots. Love them dots.
Send that answer to @ChainDynamics.
And that has to be claimed by the end of the show. Otherwise, we will, by the end of the live show. Otherwise, we're going to roll the total into next week's giveaway. That's the dot giveaway. Next, we're going to jump into the new coins.
All right, new coins. Proof of work, proof of stake coins. This week, Wyvern.
Wyvern, I think.
Wyvern.
We're going to start it off with Wyvern this week. This coin came out. It is an NIST5 algorithm.
Yep.
And it is, it's just a zero pre-mine proof of work coin, so that's always interesting.
Yep. It's on Supernova, which I consider strong mining support.
Yep, that's always a good place to be. Just looking at it, so kind of looking at this coin in the context of what we were talking about earlier with mining. This is the sort of coin that is easy as a miner to try and get into. It's got a lot of things that you're going to like. It doesn't have a pre-mine, which pre-mines can be fine in some contexts, but in general, especially if you want to mine early in a coin's life cycle, no pre-mine tends to be better. It's got those decreasing rewards,
right?
Which means that the early blocks have much higher block rewards than the later ones. But it has an interesting take on that aspect, too. The rewards don't decrease that fast. It's like every couple of weeks. And it has a really long tail, so the period of low rewards is going to be a really long time, and it's actually going to generate most of the coins.
Okay. What's this Gamers Coin part that's in the title? I don't even really see a reference to that in any part of the announcement.
If this is the right coin, I think the idea here is that you would use it to buy Steam stuff. I might...
Cool. I just don't even...
I could totally have that mixed up, to be honest with you. But kind of going back into what you would think about when you're looking for a coin to mine. So there's a few good things going on here. It's got a little bit of a non-standard algorithm. Usually I'm going to like that. It's got an accessible distribution. That's the sort of thing that you're going to like. As far as the downsides go, up front you don't see a lot as far as futures. Like what he said, they're talking about, the fair launch Gamers Coin, but there's not a lot to see here as far as, what does that mean? Is it actually going to be different than a regular clone? It also has a newbie Bitcoin Talk account, which that can be a misleading indicator, but it's certainly not a good sign.
Right.
And so those are some of the things you're going to look at. And so then when you look at a coin like this, you can kind of go to mine it. And when I was looking at it, the difficulty was about 150. The block reward is 50. And the mining cost for the algorithm was about 0.04 Bitcoins per gigahash per day.
Okay.
So if you plug that into the magic formula that we mentioned earlier, it's going to spit out a price per coin of about 800. And what you will end up seeing is that's exactly what the coin Wyvern is trading at on Coin Exchange.
Right.
It's at about 1,000 bids. but very low volume. So it kind of goes to show there's not a lot of huge buyer interest in it at any point. And so when you look at a coin like this, you're kind of saying, okay, the specs are okay, but I don't really see too much here from the developer. I'm not seeing any sign of anybody trying to accumulate it on the market. At least in this early phase, those are kind of the signs that tell you maybe this would be okay if you catch a lull in the difficulty or you try to play the mining cleverly, you might be able to get some free coins. But even if you do, for now, at least the volume's going to be very low. So it's kind of it doesn't seem like an especially high reward situation as a miner.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I always look at that opening buy support on even the small markets. Oftentimes, if somebody has a plan for a coin, that's going to be the time when they will try to get the cheapest coins possible.
Well, there's two ways to shake coins out of the market. You can try and drop the price and get people to panic and sell for less than they paid for them. But the easiest way to shake coins out is to pump it up a little bit. Put the bids at 3 to 4 times what the miners had been paying in the early going.
Right.
And they will sell. They almost always do, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so that's it kind of, when you look at a market like that, it gives you an insight into just how much kind of money and time the developer is willing to put into the project. If you don't see any evidence of time going into the project, if you don't see any evidence of money going into the project, that tells you it's probably just it's not going to be a pump coin,
Right. And we do talk about that as an indicator, not as a rule, because
of course
there's been a billion situations.
Yep, anything can happen in crypto, of course.
But. The next proof of work, proof of stake coin on the new coins list is CrazyCoin.
Alrighty, CrazyCoin, kind of another interestingly distributed coin here.
This one was a quick mine one. Got all mined out very quickly, very kind of upfront that was going to happen type of situation.
Yep, only an 8,000 block proof of work. With the SHA algorithm, they usually burn through blocks pretty fast, so this is probably only a few days to mine it at most.
And then you can add in the proof of stake portion, which includes 10% of the proof of stake blocks will be super bonus blocks at a rate of 5,000% 5,000% interest per each block. So you can imagine that having a large proof of stake generation is going to be really beneficial on this one.
Yeah, it's just the usual situation with a coin like this is if you catch it really close to the launch time, sometimes you can get a really large percentage of the blockchain for really cheap, but it's pretty tough to try and play it. If you were to try to buy it or something, it would be tough to play.
Yeah, if you aren't the dev and you have any, consider yourself fortunate.
The coin here is CrazyCoin, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see this again.
Next is Fazz coin.
Fazz, okay.
I mean, the most interesting part about this one is the giant pre-mine, I guess.
For me, it's the coming soon PolyBus.
yeah. Some coins like to say coming soon PolyBus.
Yeah, right. That's funny. Yeah, so Fazz coin, just high pre-mine, does not look good.
Up next on the list, we're going to have the Putin Coin swap re-announcement sort of thing here.
Another Putin coin?
Yeah. Probably the interesting thing about this post is that it's being done by the Atomic Coin project account.
It is. There it is. Oh my god.
So that's kind of interesting. But beyond that, it's essentially them swapping the old Putin Coin chain to a new one in some sort of almost hostile takeover. But the old Putin Coin devs don't seem to be around, so whatever that's worth.
All right. Well, that's sort of interesting, I guess.
It's happening out there.
It is happening. Looks like there's going to be another proof of work on that, too.
Yep. Sort of a start over.
Alrighty, next up we have Kratom Coin.
Kratom Coin.
This is a script coin with a big old pre-mine. Supernova is calling it out as an osmium coin.
Okay.
Which this guy, Osmium Coin, is just kind of a serial shitcoin developer. Usually doesn't put any money or much time into his projects, so that's usually a good indicator.
That's just, I mean, the 2.5 million pre-mine with only a 250 coin block reward.
Exactly. It's tough. Just a dump coin. Next on the list here, we have a coin called Arta. Arta digital currency.
There's nothing too special going on here. This is an X11 clone coin with a 10% pre-mine.
All right. Well, they at least put they did the effort to let you know about the pre-mine in a graphic.
Yep.
Instead of just plain text. So.
No, I do like their pretty graphics. I mean.
Yep. Looks like not much to see here either.
That'll take us into EquiTrader.
Alrighty, EquiTrader.
This one comes with an idea, and the idea is that this is a platform that could reward traders for sharing their insights and tips with the token it's based on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's trading tips, not actual trading, right?
Well, yeah, that's the part I understood at least. It seemed like they were open to it being like a trading platform maybe. But
maybe you're trading the tips. You're trading tips.
Maybe.
It's like an Inception thing.
They said they were... the part that I understood was that they could reward people for sharing insights.
Okay, cool.
Into their trades. Whatever that means. Until then, though, because oftentimes one of the challenges of this technology is becoming real.
Yep.
So until that happens, this is basically an SHA-256 blockchain with a 10% pre-mine.
Alrighty. Interesting. That was EquiTrader.
OGNCoin.
OGNCoin. What do we got here? Looks like a shady launch with a big pre-mine.
Yep. That sounds about right.
This is the good old-fashioned form of pre-mine where they will just like run the blockchain to themselves for a couple days and then release the coin.
Yeah, real pre-mine.
Yep.
Sometimes we get we kind of use the same words for the pre-mines and the insta-mines, but we kind of have a distinction in our heads about it.
Yeah, so that's OGNCoin, probably not worth looking at. We also have this week MentalHealthCoin.
MentalHealthCoin. If that rings a bell with you, that means you're in good mental health.
Because this is not the first version of this coin.
Yeah, we've seen this theme quite a few times. MineXCoin was probably one of the most recent incarnations, and then there's actually been other mental health coins as well, but none of them have been very successful, and most of them haven't launched. This particular incarnation has a 19% pre-mine.
Yep, as always, try and follow the money, follow the time. Not a lot of time put into this, and most of the money's into pre-mine. That usually means that it's just going to dump.
Let's take a look at the airdrop coin for the week.
Alrighty, we got an airdrop. XBTY.
Yeah, this is an Ethereum token.
Okay.
That they are sort of giving away to people through, I guess you have to contact him. I'm not sure how you contact this guy, to be honest. He says he's giving some away.
It appears to be through a contract. You contact the contract, and then you just get some XBTY back.
So it's a bit of a novel distribution system. He basically says that it'd be interesting to experiment with how things can gain value with a free distribution. So
has anyone successfully claimed it? I can't see anyone here that's even.
I see that was fast. Thanks for the token.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, must be working then, at least to some extent.
But there's that first layer we talked about, giveaways. You can always get a giveaway. Yep. And there's been some really good ones in the past, man.
Yeah, Decred comes to mind, of course, is the gold standard for giveaway coins probably forever, but there have been a ton of airdrops in the interim that have traded.
Rhinos recently.
Yeah, Rhinos recently, Kronos before that. There have been a few that have kind of fit the mold and would at least be worth the time to get the airdrop. Usually.
I don't think we've seen an Ethereum token one yet.
I don't know. That's a good question.
All right, so relaunch, re-announcements, pre-announcements is another category we'd like to take a look at. And Droidz is in there this week.
Droidz is back. This was like a crappy YoBit ICO that for some reason a lot of people got hyped up about.
And this is probably the third or fourth time for Droidz trying to re-announce.
Just the third consecutive takeover.
I guess on the positive side, if this is going to be a thing, the people that have been messing with it have been messing with it for a long time without doing anything.
I do like this guy in the thread with the Crave avatar.
Oh, nice. He's still got Crave.
This guy's still... Tom Velvet Paws is still repping Crave.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. So yeah, that's Droidz. Maybe there's something going on there, but I'm over it.
Yeah.
We also had a post this week for PracticeCoin.
Nice, yeah, PracticeCoin. This is a really open-ended coin right now in regards to its future, but interestingly, we got a post about it in our Cryptopia thread.
Yeah, it's true. The person who made the thread, or who made the coin, stopped by our Cryptopia thread to ask us to check it out. So, of course, we were happy to oblige.
Yeah, and they kind of asked us to talk about what particular parameters would make a fair and reliable coin.
So, yeah, this is basically just a guy who is new to the scene, or at least new to creating altcoins, and he's saying, I want to make an altcoin. What do you think a good altcoin would be? Usually, these can be fun. You know, it can be a fun way to make a coin. You'll pick some specs, but you're not going to... You know, you're probably not going to have anything interesting happen with it, right? There's not going to be any groundbreaking technology.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a big market. Nobody's going to pump the coin for you. Like, you know, it's just going to be a blockchain.
Yeah. And so it seemed like he was talking like from the perspective of kind of cloning a coin. So I thought I'd talk about that a little bit in regards to at the top of what we look for would be a coin that isn't a clone coin.
Yep, the best thing that, you know, as new coin connoisseurs, the best thing for us to see is a ground-up rewrite of something, like completely new code base. And, you know, it can even be mostly forked off of Bitcoin. They can copy a lot of Bitcoin's code, but what you want to see is something that just doesn't follow the standard Qt format.
Beyond that, if it is going to be a clone, then it would benefit from being the first clone of something.
Right.
Or if it cannot be the first clone of something, then being a secondary, third clone, whatever, but having one extra feature.
Exactly.
Can be huge. The one-click masternodes came to mind.
Right, yep, that was a great innovation from Banana Bits back in the masternode clone days era. But yeah, that's a great point. If something interesting, some kind of coin pops, being the first one out there to come up with a copy of it can be really lucrative. Let's take a look at some examples. Stellar, Ethereum Classic, does that count?
Yeah, sure.
Pascal Lite would be a recent example of something that's doing really well just by being the
I think
first
Litecoin goes on to that.
Yeah, Litecoin could.
But all they changed basically was the emission and the algorithm.
They weren't first, though.
Oh, that's true. I guess that's true.
But the point being, with each continuing clone of the same code base, each one becomes less valuable and less interesting unless you are able to add unique or interesting features.
Right.
And so if you're going to be someone who's going to do a clone, the first thing you need to look for is a sweet coin that hasn't been cloned yet. You're probably not going to find one because usually they get cloned shortly after anybody notices them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so another thing to tack on to all of that is use cases.
Okay.
Which is something that people look for strongly in coins. So if you can be a straight-up clone coin and have a compelling use case, then, of course, that's another thing you can use to your advantage. At the end of the day, however, I think we find that longevity probably plays one of the largest roles in any of the coin successes that we've seen.
It's true. Just being able to keep the blockchain running for a long period of time is a huge bonus for any coin. Just being around for a long time is a huge bonus for any coin. And that's why you'll see sometimes really surprising market caps from coins that are kind of seem to be relatively simple, but just have been able to stand the test of time.
And in regards to standing the test of time, it's worth noting that the most successful coins have been able to adapt to changing trends and be flexible enough, I guess, to go as far as changing their names, changing their algorithms, changing their emissions in certain cases. So I think that having that ability to adapt is probably something important for a coin as well.
And so getting back to PracticeCoin, the big problem that you're going to have here with this, unfortunately, is that if you do want to build a coin off of a coin creator service or something, you're not going to have any of those features. You will not be the first clone of anything. You're not going to have an ability to adapt to trends or change your code because these coin creator services are just going to sell you a piece of code once. They're not going to support it or help you with anything down the line. And you're probably going to have a hard time withstanding the test of time because most of the time blockchains need updates. Often they need checkpoints added to the wallet, various small updates to keep the chains healthy. And if there is nobody around who has the technical expertise to do that, you're liable to run into a lot of problems. And so essentially what I'm driving at is isn't really a good way to create a long-term altcoin with any coin creator service. You need a real developer.
Yeah.
Which doesn't mean you can't just make a coin and get it on Yobit or whatever. You wouldn't be far from the first, but for building a long-term project, it's very difficult to do it without some technical expertise on your side.
And I would say maybe that inspiration comes from seeing something that isn't there yet in either a wallet feature, or if it can become a more technical blockchain feature, then of course people get excited, but actual innovation goes a long way.
Yep. So that's PracticeCoin. We wish him the best of luck in developing his project.
Another one in the re-announcement category is HiCoin.
Seems like they just re-announce this coin every week.
This is just a re-announcement again. I only see this coin on C-Cex, I think.
Yeah.
Botcoin was also there this week.
Botcoin. What's going on with Botcoin?
This is one of those ones where they try to use democracy to create the coin from scratch.
It's a tell me what coin to make situation again.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, thus far they don't have a lot.
Nope. Finally on that list is YoGold.
YoGold. All right.
This, for a lot of people, probably is yet another gold-backed crypto.
From the creators of YoCoin.
Right. Yeah, this is like part of their Yo Industries thing.
I never dived too much into YoCoin, but I never trusted it either.
Oh, Yo Ventures, that's what they call it.
So I'm not sure I'm going to trust this project either.
And then we'll just burn through some ICO names for you. We got EQuid, Voise, Deus, MineXCoin, Leviar, KolionovoEcosystem, EncyptoTel, PolyBus, ProjectX, and -2.
Alrighty. So jumping back through all of the new coins this week. I'm going to say not too much too exciting here.
No. As usual, that's pretty much what we always say, right? I'll give a slight nod to Wyrnern for getting the supernova support. And I do not see any other interesting proof of work coins at this point.
Actually, I'm going to say of the coins this week, I think that Crazy Coin is the most likely for us to hear from again.
Really? Now you think it's the most likely? Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I would say that one would be very hard to get, so maybe they'll be around. The airdrop, that's always a good opportunity for somebody that just wants to grab a little coin, and the real launches and pre-announcements,
not too much.
hopefully
cool
see them soon, right?
Yep. Alrighty, that does it for the new coins this week. We're going to jump right into the listings.
Cool.
For mining pools this week, Supernova listed that Wyvern. As far as the coin listings, as always, want to thank Cryptopia for letting us use his Shitcoin Notify and Altcoin Notify Twitter services.
For sure.
We had some listings on Cryptopia this week of Dash, EquiTrader, Allion, Altcoin, and Mercury.
Nice.
That's Cryptopia.
And then over on Bittrex, they listed Databits, Circuits of Value, and Music.
That's like it's like a new rebrand of Circuits of Value again or something. I don't quite understand what the story with that.
Yeah, I was a little
Circuits of Value
confused by
listing is.
that, but it popped up there, so put it on the list.
It popped up at like 1 Satoshi and then jumped to like 250. That doesn't make sense.
Circuits of Value, of course, is the rebrand of Ribbits.
Yeah, it's Ribbit Rewards, and I think it was something else before that.
Over on Yobit, they listed Mbit, Melon Classic, and Zennies.
C-Cex added YoGold, GA Classic Coin, GAB Coin, GA Coin, and Sunshot United Coin.
The GA Classic Coin really did crack me up. I was like, really, you guys? You launched GA Coin and GA Classic Coin on the same day.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
It might as well. 2 for the price of 1, I guess.
Over on Nova Exchange, they listed Best Chain, Universe, Novus Coin, Pink Coin, Aspire, Give Cash, Coin, UNCSCoin, Putin Coin, Chill Coin, ProjectX, and Coin.
And then, of course, over on LiveCoin, we had the Moonstone DAC.
That one might ring a bell for some people, too. I think we've talked about that once.
We mentioned something with it. And then Token as a Service.
Yep, that one does not ring a bell.
Alrighty.
Recapping those listings. A lot of smaller listings. Cryptopia listing dash is kind of interesting.
Yeah, they're rounding out their big coin listings with that. Databits on Bittrex is probably going to be the big listing, although the music seem to pick up quite a bit of steam too.
All right. We always like to cover a few coin birthdays at the end of the show, and on the 1-year birthday side, we got DigixDAO.
DigixDAO.
I put a question mark next to this one because they don't have a traditional block explorer, and I wish I could find that first block date. But we talked about their crowdfunding 1 year ago, so I'm giving them their birthday today.
That is a happy birthday to DigixDAO. And in more exciting news, we have a very happy 3-year birthday to a little old coin called Dots.
Woo! Yeah, Dot.
Dotcoin 3-year birthday came out on March 30th, 2014.
Nice. Dot, of course, Cryptopia's native currency like we talk about.
It's true.
It's a script coin, right?
It is.
And it has quite a large use case, which is doing anything you want on Cryptopia.
You can just buy anything on Cryptopia, so that's cool.
You could win KDC Clicker.
Yeah, you could beat the whole game. You can get your coins listed. You can do whatever your heart desires, if only you have enough Dot. So a big happy 3-year birthday to Dotcoin. Did anyone win the contest?
Let me just double check. I didn't notice anything come in.
We going to get to roll one over?
We get to roll it over tonight, too.
Boom, the first time. All right.
Hex knew that he knew the answer, but he didn't send it in, so...
I would hope so. All right, that's cool. So that means next week we will have a 40,000 Dot prize. And let's see.
That means the question's going to get harder, though. You guys messed up.
Yeah, we're going to make it real weird.
Just kidding.
So yeah, that's going to do it for the Chain Dynamics show. It is, what's the date today?
This is going to be April 2nd.
April 2nd, 2017. As always, we're brought to you by Cryptopia.co.nz.
That's right.
Please check them out. Stop by the forums. We're posted up there in the altcoin section.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
And if you remember from the mining segment, I am going to post that formula for calculating your mining price.
Nice.
And the Bitcoin Talk search string so that you can actually find what the new posts are.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed that segment, and we'll try to continue doing a few more of those.
This has been Blockchain Dynamics, episode number 57 on Error by Trial Radio.
Yeah, we'll see you next week with heavier bags.
Currency. A couple Bitcoins. Pull up on my Nakamoto.